This is our first video in our Alaska cruise series. In this video, we'll show you around our ship and take you to Endicott Arm. We are going to share our very first cruise with you. We are going from Vancouver to Alaska on the Crown Princess with Princess Cruises. We want to share this incredible journey, especially for those of you that have limited mobility. We'll talk about the amazing sights that we've seen and some of the struggles that we've encountered along the way.
The Crown Princess is one of the largest ships in Princess's fleet, with a capacity of over 3,000 guests and over 1,200 crew members.
So grab a cup of tea, sit back, and we'll share what we've come across so far. The first thing we want to talk about is the start, which is boarding.
We boarded the ship at Canada Place in Vancouver.
If you're driving yourself, it can be a little confusing to get into the parkade. Stay in the right lane. You'll understand when you get there. Secondly, reserve your parking.
Definitely.
And when I say this, I mean the moment you buy tickets, reserve your parking. I'll leave a link below if I can to the company that you would reserve your parking with. It's Indigo. And we didn't know we had to reserve parking, and we had to pay daily parking, which cost us about 60% more than had we reserved parking. Secondly, from there, it's not that smooth. You're going between P1, P2, and the cruise ship terminal.
It could definitely be better organized. Definitely.
But your cruise awaits you. Once aboard, you get your medallion. And if your medallion is working, you're set to go. Welcome aboard. We chose, for us personally, to get a room with a balcony. And what made our cruise, we had a space to go and watch the scenery go by.
Get lots of sea air without walking, and just enjoy the room and the amenities. We've had quite a bit of room service.
If you are in a wheelchair, definitely try and get one of the wheelchair staterooms, as the regular staterooms, even with the balcony, are quite small and like a walker barely fits in, and there is a step to get into the bathroom. So if you can't do a step, please keep that in mind. The next thing we want to cover is dining. There are two specialty dining ships on the Crown Princess, the Crown Grill and
the Italian Sabatini's.
Yes, Sabatini's. Now, the food was fantastic.
At both of them, honestly, truly, the Sabatini's was still just a little bit better, as much as I love a great steak, and it was a great steak at the grill.
And they had plenty of gluten-free options. Make sure that about a month before your cruise, you do have to fill out the forms and your preferences and say that you're a celiac or a vegan or eat halal, and they'll already know that at the specialty restaurants when you book. Second is the dining room. As a celiac, that's our go-to place, is the dining room. Again, book this as soon as you can. People that boarded the ship that did not have reservations have had a real problem eating in the dining room and end up with a dining time like 10 p.m. As a celiac, your first day is going to be difficult. Maybe bring some protein bars with you. After that, you will be pre-ordering your food for the next day with your maitre d'. For room service, it's great. It is difficult finding out what is gluten-free, but there are a few options. Breakfast, you can fill in forms, and
you just hang it on the doorknob the night before when you're going to bed, and it just shows up on time every day. It's great.
As a celiac, bring a pen and a highlighter and write all over that form, gluten-free, 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 and your food will come gluten-free. Just make sure you highlight it and bring that to their attention. The ship in general tries to be accommodating to people with mobility issues. they do have some large room for improvement, like the hallways. Normally you recommend people to not get rooms next to elevators, but if you're using a walker or a wheelchair and you're not getting a handicap room, get a room as close to the elevators as you can, because the hallways are a nightmare to get a walker or wheelchair down.
Which also means book as early as possible, because those rooms go fast.
Or maybe even at the stern of the ship, there's not as many housekeeping carts at the back, and that's more free.
You are close to the elevators there too.
Yeah. There were 4 destination stops on our cruise. The first was in Juneau, Alaska. We will, or do, depending on when you're watching this, have a separate video for Juneau, Alaska, as well as Skagway, Alaska. We have, or will have, a separate video for Skagway, Alaska. The last stop on our trip is in Ketchikan, which is a beautiful little town. Our next stop was Endicott Arm, and we were hoping to be able to make it to Dawes Glacier, but that didn't happen. We only made it about halfway up the arm because of the ice. It is the mid-May, May 12th is when our cruise ends, so it's like May 7th. So it's the beginning of May, and yeah, we couldn't make it up the arm. We didn't even get to see the glacier. It was still beautiful, the fjord, with the ice chunks.
It was very gorgeous, but yeah, it would have been nice to see the glacier, and we should have gone to Glacier Bay this early in the season, I think.
Yeah. And that wraps up this information video. If you liked it, stay tuned for more Alaska videos. The other ones are coming. And don't forget to subscribe so you can travel with ease tomorrow.
Counting down the days till we fly away, heading to the sun, only you and me.